There is a rare type of person who always sees exactly what others are desperate to miss. They don't just look at a face, they catch the micro shiver of a lip or a gaze that shifts too fast. While everyone else is listening to the words, their brain is busy decoding the unspoken tension. People call this a gift, a sharp intuition, but in reality it is a heavy, invisible burden. Meet Elias, a man who can't help but see through the social masks everyone else wears so comfortably. For Elias, the world is not a stage of actors, but a laboratory of raw, unfiltered human data. The price of this clarity is a constant, quiet isolation from the polite lies that hold society together. Seeing the truth isn't a choice for him, it's a biological reflex he can't simply switch off. To understand this, we must look at how his brain performs what science calls thin slicing. His mind processes thousands of tiny details, micro-expressions, in less than a fraction of a second. When a friend says, "I'm happy for you," Elias catches the halftone drop in their voice. He sees the smile that doesn't reach the eyes, and the quick flicker of envy that passes like a ghost. His brain sends an immediate alert: data error. The words and the body are not in alignment. It's as simple as tasting salt in a soup. He doesn't need to think about it. The truth is just there. But the scariest part isn't spotting the lie. It's understanding the fragile reason behind it. Elias looks at a shouting boss and sees a terrified child who is losing his grip on control. He looks at a braggart and sees a deep, dark pit of insecurity screaming for a moment of validation. This level of perception leads Elias into 3 exhausting psychological traps that drain his soul. Trap 1, becoming the accidental villain in a world that survives on comfortable white lies. Like Cassandra of Greek myth, he sees the disaster coming, but his warnings only make people angry. Society is built on shared performances, and Elias is the one shining a spotlight on the moldy corners. On a first date, while others feel magic, Elias has already mapped the other person's entire ego structure. He sees that overconfidence is just a shield, and rushed enthusiasm is just a manipulation script. When he tells his friends it feels fake, they look at him like he's a cynical killjoy ruining the mood. People don't want the truth. They want the fantasy, and Elias becomes the enemy of their illusions. In the office, he sees the victim who is actually using tears to hide their own irresponsibility. When he points it out, the mood shifts instantly, and he is branded as cold, arrogant, and heartless. To protect a collapsing ego, people will always try to destroy the person who holds their secrets. Little by little, Elias learns a cruel rule. His clarity makes others feel psychologically naked. So he chooses silence, but that silence creates a vast, cold, empty space inside his own chest. This led to Trap 2, the detective obsession, where analysis becomes a toxic shield against pain. When you can't trust what people say, you start to trust only the dark patterns you find in them. A compliment is no longer a gift, it's a setup for a future favor he'll eventually have to pay. A lover's gift isn't romance. His brain immediately asks, what are they feeling guilty about? He traps himself in a high-alert loop, believing that if he predicts the betrayal, it won't hurt. But this armor is too heavy. It blocks out the very emotions that make life worth living. He loses the luxury of innocence, the ability to rest his head on a shoulder without overthinking. He is like someone with hearing so sensitive he hears the building's cracks but can no longer enjoy the music. This brings us to Trap 3, the loneliness of the unspoken truth, a weight that never goes away. He stands at a wedding, watching the groom's eyes wander, and knows the marriage is built on sand, Yet he must raise a glass and smile, feeling like he's on the Titanic while everyone else is dancing. He sees a kind soul being exploited by a toxic boss, but he knows that telling the truth will only be denied. Holding these truths creates a chronic heaviness, a mix of deep empathy and bitter, cold skepticism. Because he reads everyone so well, he becomes a great diplomat, pleasing everyone's unspoken needs. But in return, no one reads him. They assume he's too strong and too smart to ever need protection. He becomes a glass wall. He sees through everyone, but they only see their own reflection in him. So, what is the way out for a mind that is cursed with seeing the backstage of humanity? You cannot force your vision to be blurry, but you can change how you respond to the clarity. Principle 1, strategic ignorance. Just because you see the truth doesn't mean you are responsible for it. If a coworker is being fake, treat it like a gray cloud in the sky. You see it, but you don't have to push it. Your perception is a tool for your own safety, not a weapon to judge or clean up the world. Principle 2, accept the mask. People don't wear masks to hurt you. They wear them to hide their wounds. That loud man is just a boy craving love. That cold woman is just someone afraid of being betrayed. Once you see the fear behind the mask, your disgust turns into a radical, quiet form of compassion. The greatest wisdom is not exposing a weakness, but seeing it clearly and still choosing to be kind. Principle 3, forgive the present. Stop trying to control the future to avoid the possibility of pain. If there's a chance you might get hurt, accept the risk so you don't miss the 80% of joy right now. You can see the thorns on the rose, but if you only analyze the thorns, you will never smell the flower. When Elias lets go, he stops being a cold X-ray machine and becomes a quiet, steady lighthouse. I'm Leo, and I hope this note helps you find peace with the truths you carry. Goodbye for now.